FYI, if anyone says you can avoid drama in high school, that's obviously a big lie. Even the strongest kids have it rough. Now imagine what a teenager must go through every day to hide his godlike bestowed powers. The story plays from year 4386 on the cultivation calendar, so citizens of Huashu now live in the great era of scientific cultivation, where they also enjoy a vast level of spirituality and convenience from cultivation technology. And just when you think nothing can go wrong, comes the arrival of a monster. Actually, a giant green amphibian. So while the city goes into a panic, a special squad is mobilized to go after it. However, this one seems to be a difficult opponent. You'd never guess. It's a frog. While they fight fiercely, some little boy just waltz out on the street and makes a total joke of his safety. The boy is focused on eating his dry noodles when one of the squad quickly takes him to a safe place. Years later, the man named Zhou Yi is identified as the hero who saved the city by destroying the Demon King that posed the threat. Zhou Yi's feat in the battle is so great that his statue is mounted in different cultivation schools as a reference. We're not exactly shown how it went down though, but who cares as long as everyone goes home happy. Meanwhile, in one of the cultivation schools, it's a new beginning for Wang Ling as he begins his freshman year. And of course, Year 2 bullies who think they're on the top of the world now that freshmen have arrived. But before they make a move on Wang Ling, comes the arrival of Sun Rong, who defends him by attacking the bullies. So, apparently, Sun Rong is revealed to be the daughter of one of the most prestigious groups in the city. And yeah, her beauty is one of the things that scare the bullies away. Yet, it's no wonder the students are in awe of her entry. However, she extends a hand of friendship toward Wang Ling, but he responds in a shocking way, giving her a money note in exchange for her help. This reaction, of course, rocks the whole school, because nobody disrespects a princess like that. Later, the freshmen are to undergo a spirituality test which would determine their classes, with the elite class having only students with excellent scores. While students with the least spiritual power take the ordinary class, the first student ushered into the arena gets the shock of his life as he is to face the Demon King that was destroyed 10 years ago by Zhou Yi. Which is a totally insane test in my opinion, sending students to fight a monster that wreaked havoc on the whole city? Yet, it is revealed that the real monster is held underneath the school, and what the students were facing was a hologram of its spiritual power. The task? Easy peasy. All they were meant to do is to summon every spiritual energy they have and hit the talisman on its head that would measure the spiritual power. Easy, right? Yet, when the first two students took the test, boy, that did not seem easy. It's a good laugh, watching them get flung by the force field protecting it. After all that enthusiasm, the first two students land in the ordinary class, and one of the professors, Wang Zukang, is amazed at how weak this year's freshmen turned out. However, two friends, Chen Chao and Guo Hao, managed to scale through, taking their spots in the elite class. Though, it is unknown to the professors that every year they use the Demon King as a tool for the entrance tests. He absorbs some energy from each student. With just a little more juice, he'd have enough to break out. Luckily, his birthday wish comes earlier than expected when his next opportunity to escape comes walking in the form of Sun Rong. Loaded with a massive amount of spiritual energy, Sun Rong's blast is double the value of every chosen elite student, which is expected of her. After all, she was attending a school that was way below her league. Then, it's finally Wang Ling's turn, but you'd never guess what happens next. On his arrival, the Demon King recognizes his aura as something sinister he felt 10 years ago. Apparently, Zhou Yi turns out to be a fraud. Shocking, because the real hero who defeated the Demon King years ago is little Wang Ling, who was in the scene that day eating dry noodles. As Wang Ling approaches with a flimsy attempt to hit the seal, the Demon King shivers knowing the slightest snap from Wang Ling could make his soul go bye-bye. Just when he's at the peak of impact, there's a blank light and the monitors go dead. Well, no one knows exactly what happened when the powers suddenly come up again. Wang Ling's powers measure to infinity, while the Demon King is unconscious. Wang Zukang might have had a connection to Froggy, because why he was weeping over this remains a mystery. However, Wang Ling, who is no stranger to Froggy's tactics, is aware that the amphibian was playing dead. Smart move, Froggy. Later on, Miss Pan introduces herself as the new instructor of the elite class, and boom, they have their first lesson on the act of summoning. After a brief lecture on it, Miss Pan urges the students to attempt summoning spiritual beings. Some students do exceptionally well for their first time. Chen Chao's enthusiasm summons a princess wand, while Guo Hao, well, he summons a female skirt. Very bad of you, Guo Hao. Very bad. So everyone has fun with the lecture except Wang Ling, who is stuck gazing outside his window when Miss Pan urges for his participation. Unknown to her, Wang Ling fears that the creature he summons might be a dangerous being. However, he fulfills her wish, and boom, the Demon King appears out of his spell. Luckily, Miss Pan quickly casts another spell, transforming its huge size to that of a puppy, and the Great Demon King, unfortunately, becomes the cute class pet. That's not just all. It appears Wang Ling's birth was circled as a phenomenal experience. I mean, who walks out of their mother's womb like a Power Ranger? Yet, the strange occurrence of his birth didn't seem to fade the love of his parents until age 6, when he mistakenly let his spiritual energy loose on the Demon King. Ever since his parents were worried and took him through vigorous exercises to seal this overwhelming power, and after a series of tests, the only thing they could come up with is an enchanted amulet and a golden pill to conceal his powers. Hence, living low profile and away from unnecessary drama had become the circle of his life. As laid back as Wang Ling is, one thing that drives him to the center of drama is dry noodles. In other words, even the most virtuous individuals have a selling point. He finds himself in the middle of a political tussle for the class president position, where Sun Rong is giving free noodles for bribes. Someone had to stand against the injustice, of course, and here comes Chen Xiao and Guo Hao. But Sun Rong quickly handled the situation by doing the extreme, where she uses her powers to seduce her classmates. During the next lecture, well, you know when you make a mistake at home and your parents use it as an example for like eternity? That's exactly what happens here. Wang Zukong, who had caught up to Sun Rong's trick she used on her classmates, made it the topic for the whole class. He states that the only way a person can't be affected by her spell is if they possess remarkable spiritual energy, also pointing out that Wang Ling was the only student affected. In the end, Sun Rong loses the election to Chen Qiao, and it is revealed that the professors have their eyes on Wang Ling, after he breaks Sun Rong's spell on the entire class so easily. The next day at school, Wang Ling notices he mistakenly cast a seduction on Sun Rong, which was in the process of mistakenly breaking her seduction spell on her classmates. On the pill-making day, the entire class arrives and each student is meant to bring furnaces for the process. Meanwhile, other students like Chen Qiao, Guo Hao, and Sun Rong take the opportunity to show off their furnaces and skill at pill-making. Then there's the laid-back Wang Ling, who just decides to bring a microwave. During the process, things literally backfires for Chen Qiao, who accidentally destroys his father's furnace. R.I.P. Chen Qiao. I know how it feels. Trust me. So while the student leaves the pills to form, the sneaky froggy, now in the form of a dog, has its eye set on Guo Hao's antique furnace. It was just the right ingredient needed for the fallen Demon King to reclaim his throne. Luckily, Wang Ling suspected foul play and intercepted him just in time. The only problem is, Guo Hao doesn't exactly take things the cool way after finding his treasured furnace in Wang Ling's possession. Soon, Chen Qiao, who had been possessed by a devil after destroying his father's furnace, comes to take revenge on Wang Ling over Sun Rong's affection. But instead, he gets shot by Guo Hao's tonic and is fatally ill. Well, it seems Guo Hao might have a hidden talent after all. He creates a healing pill for Chen Qiao in less than 4 hours, thanks to Froggy's spiritual force to control time, and he managed to score an outstanding 85 in pill making. In the end, they successfully heal Chen Qiao and repair his father's furnace, thanks to Froggy, who had the hardest time. As time passes, there's been positive and negative developments in the school. Listen up, I got tea for you. The negative one? Turns out that assassins have shown up at school, and they have Sun Rong on their list as an immediate kill. The positive one being that things have taken an unusual romantic turn, as the princess officially asks Wang Ling to go on a date with her. The news spreads all over school and everyone is shocked at this sudden improvement, except Chen Qiao, who is seen crying like he lost something. Luckily, Wang Ling is summoned to Zhou Yi's office to escape the scene. To think that would be a lifesaver, he meets another head-aching situation when Zhou Yi identifies him as the little boy from 10 years ago and calls him master. Immediately, he handles the situation by clearing 50% of his memory. It appears that Wang Ling is willing to do anything to avoid his powers from getting exposed. On a fine morning, well, not so much of a fine morning because he has Sun Rong after his life, even in his dreams. He awakens and indeed finds Sun Rong outside with a parade of guards and cars, ready for their, what I would like to call, a one-sided date. Strangely enough, his parents are also in on it. So, he finally accepts to go out with Sun Rong, which also gives room for the assassins to trail them again. For their first date, they go to a place special to Sunrong, and she even goes as far as clearing the whole yard for his comfort. Talk about princess treatment. However, Wang Ling helps in his way by evading the attacks of the assassins that infiltrated the yard while wiping Sunrong's memories at any chance he gets. At the peak of the evening, they take the Ferris wheel, and while distracted by the fireworks, the assassins ambush their cart. Sunrong, who is willing to give her life for Wang Ling, be it the influence of love or whatever, makes it her duty to protect him and requests to be taken without Wang Ling getting hurt. A cute scene, not gonna lie. But Sunrong really had no idea what this guy was made of. Wang Ling steps up to the task, eliminating both assassins with a wave of his fingers in God mode. However, this time around, he doesn't erase her memory. Instead, he urges her to make a promise not to reveal his secret. The somewhat couple, or whatever they are, enjoy the evening together. Yet it is unknown to Wang Ling that Zhou Yi had bypassed his memory wipe spell and spectated his fight with the assassins. What happens next for Wang Ling, and how does he plan to hide his secret further? Find out in the next recap.